I was laying on the
good.
floor on a
Thank you.
blanket with them when she did it.
I don't want to go through that again.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, but you got to. It's like, you
See
gotta
my
be there.
carriage
And I
house is
couldn't
no
have
longer up in the
Tiffany
air.
come.
It's
I couldn't
actually
have
got a
Jenna
new
come.
foundation.
So,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
No, I haven't been by lately.
You haven't been by lately?
Yep.
That's a good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they did a good job.
For the
good.
dog.
Who did it?
Yes, yeah, I mean, yeah.
My contractor.
I got one dog. I'm on my first dog.
Oh,
Also,
It is. It will make you question whether or not you'll ever do it again.
Yeah.
But I say, I'll go through that and then I'll go, but if I'm saving the life of a dog, and as people said, he had a great life. What more can you do? So, yeah, I gotta go through pain, but he had a great life. So, and he made our lives so much better.
he knows
we
what's
ready?
going on with that kind of stuff.
6 o'clock.
All right, can everybody stand for the pledge, please? Trustee Gaylord is out of district. Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, take your seats. Keep in mind, the microphones are hot. We are live streaming this meeting, so you can watch it on our Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube and watch it there after the fact. Just keep in mind, the microphones will pick up anything you mutter under your breath. Counselor, how are you?
Good evening,
We
sir.
moved the meeting up because it's a long way to get back to Washingtonville. I want to make sure you get back safely.
They don't plow.
And by the way, you have Trustee Gaylord to thank for the
Yes.
fact that you now have your own name on your nameplate there. So it's not just the ambiguous, nebulous, amorphous
Wasn't easy.
attorney for the village.
I have arrived.
You ever,
13
how many
I'm-
years?
I don't know.
How many years now?
I reminded him, I was here at least 15 before I got my name. It was village clerk.
Wow.
Well, I
All
will
right.
say, if Mr. McKay represents any other villages, you may not take that with you.
So true.
Unless they paid for it.
They might not be a village, but
That's okay. The other villages gave me my own nameplate a long time ago.
Oh,
we couldn't afford it.
yeah, you got to pay by the letter. All right.
Kept saying no.
So everybody knows the plan tonight was to recognize Carrie Beloga, who is a senior in Cornwall Central High School's class of 2023. She is the national champion in cross country, which is just fabulous. Now the fact that Cornwall's had 2 of them, Aislinn Cuff a number of years ago did the same. I read through her CV. If an 18-year-old kid can have a CV, and it is just amazing. I spoke to Jason Simo, the athletic director at Cornwall Central High School, and before we knew we were going to move the meeting up, we decided we're going to push this recognition off until March. It just makes more sense rather than dragging the kid and their parents and other kids and folks from the high school. So why did we move the meeting up to 6 o'clock? We received notification from the county that the snowfall rates are going to begin around 7 p.m. this evening, and that's when significant accumulations will happen between 7 and midnight. Now, significant in a season where we've had no snow is 3 to 5 inches, but not wanting to send people home that live outside of here or don't have a Jeep or aren't 500 yards away like me, we decided to move this meeting up. Counselor, we will schedule attorney-client probably in advance of our work session in March, if that's okay with you.
I was going to suggest even just a, video meeting with the board, whoever can make it, just to bring the board up to speed on a number of pending
On a
items.
myriad of issues that I know you're working on.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Can we
Okay.
do that on executive or no? Can you do it in executive or no?
Well, you can, no, you can have.
These are
you can have
attorney-client issues.
Attorney-client.
No, can you have a Zoom?
Zoom.
You can have a Zoom, sure, yeah.
So one of the things that we
Not a
look.
meeting, it's just a meeting with your attorney.
Right. So one of the things we were looking into, obviously the open meetings law, we were gonna try to move this to Zoom and just do it that way, but it's New York State, obviously post-COVID, has now moved into the realm where you cannot do that without a quorum. The town is doing the same thing tonight. They have to have at least, I think they have somebody in Florida, somebody in Australia, but they have to have 3 members in person in the town, and they're gonna meet between 7 and 7:30.
On a leap of faith, This afternoon, I started to prepare a draft local law for the board to be able to do that. It wouldn't have helped in this particular circumstance, but
Okay.
you'll have that option in the future.
Good. All right. Real quick before we get into the meat of the meeting, I thought it'd be a nice idea to have a moment of silence for our head mechanic who passed away. Gosh, has it been a month now? Dave, it's been a month. Jim Sebesta, who worked for the village for over 2 decades, a Cornwall family. Jim was beloved by everyone who worked with him, who knew him, who crossed paths with him. And before we have a moment of silence, I just want to read a quick, I hope she doesn't kill me for this, but the Deputy Village Treasurer sent a nice note to the board thanking us, meaning the community, for honoring her brother. Dave, she thanked you personally as well for going above and beyond. Mike, she thanked you and the water department as well for helping out on the date of the funeral and the after event. She mentioned both of you by name and said that she truly appreciated what the village did by lowering the flags, placing the morning bunting out, and treating him like like somebody who had accomplished things in this municipality and deserved to be recognized. So thank you guys for that, all of you. And without further ado, why don't we have a small moment of silence for Jim Sebesta. Okay, this will be a difficult segue into something going from tragedy, losing somebody at the age of Jim to moving into this. But last week, the town and the village, and everybody's seen it, we promoted it and talked about it, and it's been all over Facebook and on the village website. But the town and the village, if you direct your attention over there to my left, the faux check that we received from Governor Hochul and New York State representing $4.5 million in a grant related to, it's not exactly the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which was started a number of years ago. Cities like White Plains, New Rochelle, Kingston, I believe, had received those. This was tailored towards smaller communities like ours, 3,000 residents in the village, 13,000 in the town. We don't have, the population size or the urban hub that cities like Kingston or White Plains or New Rochelle do. So this was geared towards us. Last fall, we began in earnest working with the Economic Development Advisory Committee or Council, as well as a number of other folks who were specialists in their field. And those specialists were in grant writing. They were in the implementation of polling instruments. How do we determine what the community is looking for? How do we determine what visitors are looking for? Things like that, tourism related. The whole purpose of this grant is to increase the connectivity and walkability of our 2 conjoined communities, from Shadane Circle all the way down to Donahue Memorial Park, and to include the Donahue Farm property as well. So, long story short, I just wanted to add a couple things on that. I got a call from the Secretary of State for New York State, which was a thrill. My phone rang. I never answer numbers that I don't know, and this time I happened to do it. And the gentleman introduced himself as the Secretary of State. We had a great conversation in regards to what the plans are in Cornwall. This is something that people think happen when you get this paper check. There's no deposit into our account. We don't have the money. The way it works is we're going to be working, and on Wednesday, the town supervisor and I have a Zoom with the New York State Department of State Office of Planning, Development, and Community Infrastructure. That's a word salad, but that's who we're going to be meeting with. We're going to continue to have monthly meetings with them. Then we're going to put together a strategic plan, which the Orange County and the regional subgroup off of the Department of State's Office of Planning, Development, Community Infrastructure will work with us on as we put our projects together. We come up with a project, which means this board has to approve it. We advance it then to these two committees, then it gets to New York, the State Department in New York State, and then we get approval by project. So it's not like they write us a $2.25 million check because the village is splitting that with the town in half, and then we just start writing checks and start doing things. So we are working on a plan, and we're working with a committee. There's a number of people that are on that, and I don't even know if Ronna Liebert, Dr. Liebert is here tonight. I asked her to stop by, kind of ambushed her because she was one of the names we submitted. And the reason why I asked her to come, and she doesn't know this, but prior to this, when the village and the town went together and each spent $5,000 apiece to have a grant writing team, a professional grant writing team, essentially walk us through the project, show us the ins and the outs, and help be the margin of victory. That was our grant writing team right there. So she worked with the town and she worked with the village. She's worked across administrations. And Ronna, thank you, because in no small way, a portion of that check was your efforts in helping us do this. We learned a lot of lessons from this one. Some of them will apply as we go forward. I think we're gonna be very selective on how we apply for grants. We're gonna be smart about it, and we know that small investments are worth it. Ronna did all of this gratis. She never received anything more than a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the back room, which the Keurig is not really much to talk about, but I just wanted to ask you to be here tonight. I know everything changed. We were gonna have a bigger room tonight because the Carrie Beloga crowd was gonna be here. But I wanted to thank you personally in front of the board for all the work that you did. And your efforts went into us being able to secure that.
Have anything to do with that. but
You didn't on that, but
I'm happy
on-
it helped in some way.
on that particular one of the big lessons that I learned from Ronna was, as we went through this process, when you submit grants, every year the same grants are looking for different things. So you submit a grant, it looks great, you get one score. You submit the same grant next year and you get a lower score or a higher score depending upon what the mission focused change is. And Ronna was good in kind of walking us through that. And like I said, she worked across a couple of administrations. So Ronna, thank you for what you did. I wanted to put you on the spot and embarrass you, so thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, so beyond that, this will be an ongoing process. I will continue to keep the Board of Trustees in the loop in regards to what we are doing. My first meeting with the Department of State and with Josh will be on Wednesday morning. I will send out an email to you guys, basically giving you the bullet points and the takeaways of what they're advising us to do. We do not have a time frame when we have to spend that, but I also don't want to let this languish. It's not ARPA funds where you have 5 years from receipt to expenditures. We want to be smart. We want to make sure we're doing this in a connected way, and we're going to do that. So trustees, you have any ideas, things you're hearing from constituents or whatever, please let us know. Like I said, Wednesday morning is my first meeting with Department of State to talk about what our strategic plan going forward is going to be. Yeah.
Does the state see this as a single pot of $4.5 million, and we, between the town and the village, are deciding which projects we are submitting, and that's kind of how it's gonna work, or?
Great point. I think the answer to that question is yes. When Josh and I entered into this agreement, we said, and again, it was a huge team that did this, equal amount of work, equal amount of effort, equal financial investment. We split the amount for the grant writing team that was really a big help in this. So it's 2.25 and 2.25. New York State doesn't care. So, to your point, whether or not, 3 million spent in the town and 2 million in the village, but we have an agreement that it's 2.25 and 2.25. Look, I'm sure if it's something that's beneficial to both, we'll work those kind of things out. Obviously, for the village, a big part of what we're gonna do is try to dress up and improve and renovate our central business district, which I think is, could use a little bit of that. We also have the waterfront, and we also have Donahue Farm property, and all of those things we're part of, and you should see our application packet because it describes what our vision was as these are the places where money should be spent. Maybe some of that won't apply in a month or 6 months or a year. We'll find something else, but those are the things that New York State said, yep, that makes sense. We put together a 10-minute video. Smarter people than me in production, everything, put this video together, and after I watched it, I'm like, this, if we don't win it with this, I don't know what. I mean, from the footage they use to the narration to just the entire thing. we can't share that video because that video was sent to the committee in the governor's office. Then Josh and I and Steve Jones, the head of the EDAC, had a 20-minute Zoom call with the committee. They watched the video, which was 10 minutes, then they spent 20 minutes asking us questions. After it was over, I said, if we don't win this, I would love to see who wins this. And it turns out that we ended up winning it. We're gonna share that video with the public. I think it'll get people excited about some of the potential projects, but it was really well done. Jason Burnham, Rich Odell, those are names you're gonna be hearing about sooner because they handled all the polling instrument implementation, meaning asking people on using a survey where they thought the money should go, and then putting together a video that I thought was top notch. So, all right.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Jim. I've had people approach me in regards to a committee being formed for input, citizen input, business development input.
Yep.
That's something that we're, as part of this plan?
Yes.
Okay, all
So we submitted a list of names. Now, we promised the people when we submitted them that you can move people around. Dr. Liebert doesn't remember probably, but we volunteered her to be on that committee.
Voluntold.
But yes, there are extra spaces on that, and people can be moved on and off it. But you're right, Jim. Because a big portion of this is the business district, we do want to have business owners be a part of this too. We want environmentalists, we want athletic people, we want school district, we want to have a Noah's Ark, one of everything. But absolutely, that will happen.
And presumably that committee is going to interface with the public continually as part of its deliberations, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why that would have to be a closed-off committee. I don't. I mean, that'll be something Josh and I will be in attune with. And then, like I said, we have to have monthly meetings with the state to report back what the progress is. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. I wouldn't expect a shovel to go into the ground sooner than a year from now. And that would be we're moving along at the right pace. Because again, New York State has to approve every move we make. It's not a blank check, and it's not the ability to pick a project and go ahead and start it, and the board likes it, that's what we're gonna do. It doesn't work that way. It has to be approved by New York State. It has to be within the mission statement for New York Forward, which I encourage everybody that's listening, and especially the board members who I know have already read it, to go online and read what that mission statement is. It's a pretty blanket mission statement, meaning you can fit a lot of things into it, but take a look at that. On Friday, we had the pleasure and the privilege of a visit from Steve Newhouse, the Orange County executive. Steve was the beneficiary of monies from the state in regards to working on some of our highways and byways in Orange County. And of the 3 communities that received these grants, Port Jervis received 10 million, Sleepy Hollow on the other side of the river received 4.5 million, and Cornwall and Hudson received 4.5 million. 2 of them were in Orange County for the Mid-Hudson region. So pretty cool thing. Steve wanted to take a trip out to Port Jervis, and then he wanted to take a trip here. He met with the town supervisor and me on Friday morning. We started out at the river, worked our way back up, stopped in at the old Lightron building, which a village resident who lives close to you happened to purchase a number of years ago, the old food bank building. And we were privileged to have Mr. Cragen and his father, Mr. Cragen Sr., who originally had the company that's now gone in there, talk to us about their idea and their vision for what they're doing with their company and what they're looking to do a few years from now in regards to businesses on Hudson Street across from Village Pizza, which I think would be a really neat thing. So we got a whole tour of the place. Steve was impressed with it. Then we went uptown after we stopped at Village Hall to meet the employees, went uptown to Town Hall, met some employees, and then we went to the old Berniker building and walked through it. The owner was there to give his vision. I think that project is before the planning board, and again, it's outside of my AOR, area of operation responsibility, but he got a tour of that to hear what the plans were there for a boutique hotel and a restaurant and things like that. Then we just stopped in random businesses. We stopped at the coffee and mercantile shop. We stopped in at the barber shop just so folks could get a chance to meet him and give their ideas on what could be done on Main Street. So the idea here is to take Hudson Street and Main Street, better connect them and to do everything we can for the businesses that are there to help them thrive and flourish. So that's what we did. Okay, any more questions about the New York Forward grant? All right, I think we'll go ahead and move forward to the next item of business, which is public comment. There's only one person in the public here, so if that person would like to speak, they could step, all right? I saw the look. All right, so moving on. Minutes from the January 23, 2023 business meeting. Let me go ahead and move to that point. I'm going to make a motion to accept the January 23, 2023 business meeting minutes as presented. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
You abstained, Jim, because you were absent. Yeah. Okay. Moving on from the minutes, the treasurer's report, the open utility balances report for the end of January reads as follows. Village water, sewer, garbage and penalties, $83,754.34. Town water and penalties, $419,198.04. I'm going to make a motion to approve the February 2023 warrant number 2 and authorize payment, including prepayments, totaling $805,095.46. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, revenue expenditure reports by fund. Our general fund revenue, $4,311,811.62, with expenditures of $4,183,968.19. Water fund revenues, $2,609,759.09, with expenditures of $2,736,488.58. And finally, sewer fund revenues of $502,764.49, with expenditures of $318,542.78. Total receipts, $7,424,335.20, or 94.49% in anticipated revenues, and $7,238,999.55, or 92.13% in anticipated expenditures through the end of January. The sewer capital fund balance is $553,077.16, including interest through January 31. Moving on to board department reports. Building department, trustee Carnwright.
Village of Cornwall and Hudson Building Department report for January 2023. Building permits issued 7. Certificate of compliance occupancy issued 23. On-site inspections 31. Violations 0. Stop work orders 0. Municipal searches 1. Solar panels 0. Fire inspections 4. Manny Carmona, Code Enforcement Officer.
All right, Manny is out tonight. Any questions from the trustees? If you have any of Manny personally, you know how to reach him. He will be in tomorrow night, doing his shift from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., and on Thursday night again from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. All right, Fire Department, Deputy Mayor Kane.
All right, report for January 2023. With respect to events, there were 4 automatic alarms, 4 EMS calls, 1 structure fire or mutual aid to Cornwall, 1 chimney fire, 1 cooking fire, 1 trash can fire, 1 standby assignment to Newburgh, 2 good intent calls, 1 assist police department, 2 drills, 2 apparatus station maintenance, and 2 meetings for a total amount of events were 22. Total volunteer hours was 252. Chief notes that the fire station was inspected by the code enforcement officer on January 9th. He found that a number of issues that needed to be remedied. The most concerning issues were severe cracks in the wall of the apparatus bay. We're all working to schedule a meeting with the village engineer to assess the walls. 7 firefighters are registered to attend the ice rescue awareness training. 4 firefighters are registered to attend the trench rescue awareness training. 4 firefighters are registered to attend the basic building collapse operations training, and 1 firefighter is registered to attend the firefighting survival self-rescue. Lastly, the Orange County Department Commissioner of Fire Services has informed us that the Cornwall and Hudson Fire Department will have an ISO review in 2024. The review is an assessment of the village's ability to prevent and suppress structure fires. In addition to looking at the fire department, the review will include an evaluation of the village water supply, emergency communication systems, and community risk reduction, which includes fire prevention, code adoption and enforcement, public fire safety education, and fire investigation. Insurance company underwriters will use these results of the review in setting insurance premiums for village residents. And I think that's it. Question, Chief. In respect to firefighting training, the trench and the ice rescue awareness, is this all done at the county level, or do you have to go upstate?
Those were done at the county.
Okay, that's great. That's very good. Okay.
Any other trustee with a question?
Yeah, just the structure fire, was it a easily suppressed, serious incident, was it,
It's January, that's a long time ago. Which one was it?
and it wasn't serious?
No, it was serious. It was a detached garage up off of Mine Hill Road?
Mineral Springs.
Mineral Springs Road.
Oh, that's the one that went up pretty quickly, right, Charlie? It engulfed the thing pretty quick. I remember seeing the pic. Someone was videoing.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky in the village. We can get to everything quickly. Out in the town, it takes time to get to buildings.
Yeah.
And fire doubles in size every minute, so.
Doubles in size
I
every
didn't
minute.
realize that, really.
Mhm.
All right.
Not when I'm camping.
Not when it's a survival situation. Haven't you watched Naked and Afraid? Takes a long time to get those fires going. All right, moving on. Police Department, Trustee Brain.
The Cornwall on Hudson Police, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's the matter?
I like the Naked and Afraid.
Oh, he did?
Reference, yes.
Joe.
I like the
Cornwall on Hudson
right
Police
out there.
Department, monthly report, January 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Sorry, typo. 2023. 408 total calls for service. Fortunately, there were 0 felony calls. As far as misdemeanors and violations, there was 1 call for fraud, 1 criminal mischief, and 1 harassment or aggravated harassment. There was 1 arrest for a violation. Vehicle and traffic, there were 4 property damage accidents, 4 traffic summonses issued, 4 traffic warnings issued, 2 parking summonses issued, 4 traffic enforcement posts, and 2 speed or radar sign postings. On non-criminal activity, there were 7 fire response calls, 1 domestic incident, 4 alarm response calls, 8 suspicious incident calls, 4 animal complaints, and 2 disorderly person calls. And in terms of assisting other departments, there were 6 Town of Cornwall PD assists, 7 EMS, none for other agencies, 1 other police agency, 4 welfare checks, and 1 citizens assist. Respectfully submitted, Chief Stephen E. Dixon.
Chief, anything to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions for the chief?
Department participated in Chief Hazard's walkout, is that right?
That's correct.
Last
Very
Friday,
nice.
last Thursday, Friday?
35 years.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Yeah, 35 years. Okay. All right, moving on. Department of Public Works, Trustee Carnwright.
Village of Cornwall and Hudson, Department of Public Works, January 2023. Trash collected for the month, 118.8 tons. Recycling collected for the month, 24.2 tons. Yard waste collected for the month, 0. Routine maintenance performed on village vehicles. Pre-treated roadways for predicted storms. Coal patching and potholes. Temporary decking installed on box culvert on Mountain Road. Updated village clerk's office while she was on vacation. Restrooms at Riverfront Park near completion. Landscaping to be done in the spring. Replacement of a clutch on the wood chipper. Notes. We have contacted with Cintas and now have in place 2 AED units, 1 in the DPW building at Shore Road and 1 in the Village Hall. They are providing monthly checks and service to the units. Also ask at this time for the board to authorize the posting and advertise to fill our now vacant mechanics position in the Department of Public Works. Dave Holverson, Superintendent of Public Works. Okay.
All right. Worth noting also, I think, Dave's guys have been working hard inside the building here since we Haven't gotten any snow till tonight, so that's gonna change. But in replacing the flooring that hasn't been replaced in 35 years, I think the residents of Cornwall and Hudson have gotten their money's worth out of the same floor that was here when it was a bank. So Dave's guys are replacing that room by room as time permits, and doing some painting and things like that. It requires them to disassemble all the furniture, move everything out, and then paint, and then do the floor, and then move everything back in. So Dave, thank you for that. I am going to go ahead and announce a job posting. I'd like to make a motion to authorize our DPW Superintendent, Dave Halverson, to advertise for the now vacant mechanics position. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
How's that, is that posted on the county level?
We have 3 different titles available in our union contract.
What was his title?
He was the head automotive mechanic.
Head automotive, okay.
Is that, will that possibly be filled from within?
Possible, but I want to advertise outside
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I understand that. I just figured there's probably at least one or, I know
Well,
one
he's
person
got
maybe,
two
yeah.
guys right now that are trying to
Yeah.
fill in to make things continue to run.
We've been up pretty good with what's been going on. I don't think any of the departments here have had any issues with it that I'm aware of.
Great,
Good.
very good.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Water Department, Trustee Brain.
Village of Cornwall on Hudson, Water Department, January 2023 monthly report. Monthly production, 20,601,000 gallons. Daily average, 665,000 gallons. Samples, we collected 42 samples in accordance with our approved water quality monitoring plan. Treatment, the Black Rock water treatment plant remains offline while New York State DEC Speedies permit is reviewed by the DEC. As for transmission and distribution, 45 utility markouts were completed. The new Mill Street water main was placed into service. It performed maintenance to all pressure regulating valves. Boil water advisory issued and subsequently rescinded on Fontaine Drive. There was a service line leak repaired at 32 Mailer Avenue. There were residential curb valve repairs at 17 Smith Road and 7 Meadow Avenue. There were water shutoffs at property owner's request at 11 Jean Court, 39 Spruce Street, 131 Continental Road, 12 Idlewild Park Drive, and 5 Prospect Street. And we performed water valve inspection in preparation for upcoming road resurfacing in the town of Cornwall. As for meters, they read the commercial readers, read the town residential meters, read village residential meters. 6 final water meter readings were completed. 5 residential water meters were replaced. 5 meter transmitters were replaced, 10 miscellaneous jobs were completed, 6 water line inspections were completed, and 1 meter test was performed for accuracy. As for other, the beta test is underway for new software system called My360, which allows users, or will allow users, to monitor their own water consumption. The department received a $7,540 financial grant from the Orange County Water Authority for leak detection of the water system. Representatives of Verizon Wireless have made a request to construct a cell tower on the Jackson Avenue treatment plant property. Sincerely, Michael P. Trainer Senior, Water Superintendent.
That's it.
I should probably stay Y then, right? Okay. All right, next item is, I'm sorry, Michael, was there anything you wanted to add?
Nothing.
I got a question.
All right.
Where do we stand on the permit for Black Rock?
It's being reviewed by DEC. It was submitted, I believe, in December. They have up to 180 days to review it.
So they do have a time span.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Unbelievable.
In the lull, I think our beta test is the deadline I finished mine yesterday.
Got it.
Is that where we're at?
All right.
Yeah, I think we're going to schedule a follow-up meeting here in the next couple of weeks.
All right, anything else? Nope. All right, moving on to New Windsor and Cornwall EMS, Deputy Mayor Kane.
Okay, with respect to personnel, for the report for January 2023, with respect to personnel, they were actively looking for paramedics. And while we have onboarded additional staff to reduce overtime and replacing staff whom have left for other higher paying positions, there have been no staff injuries. Multiple employees were out sick with the flu. As with respect to operations, there were 384 total dispatches, 100% of the calls were covered, 372 patient encounters, 270 responses in New Windsor, 68 responses in the town of Cornwall, and 11 in the village of Cornwall and Hudson. With respect to mutual aid, 14 to the town of Newburgh, 10 were Crystal Run ALS intercepts, 1 with the city of Newburgh, 2 at the Woodbury Commons. The Cornwall unit covered that, or 2 at Woodbury, not Woodbury Commons. The Cornwall unit covered that. 6 Highland Falls, that the Cornwall unit covered that. With respect to response times, it was 6.47 minutes at New Windsor, 5.37 minutes for Cornwall, and 6.01 minutes for Cornwall and Hudson. The New Windsor units have responded to 8 second calls in Cornwall, while the Cornwall unit responded 7 times to third calls in New Windsor. With respect to vehicles, 15 days of January, they had at least 1 ambulance out of service for repairs, and 11 days with 2 or more vehicles were out of service, and this has contributed to an aging fleet and equipment. 3 of the ambulances are 6 years old with nearly 100,000 miles on them each. As of today, all the vehicles are in service. And lastly, with respect to equipment, aging and the chief notes, aging and deteriorating equipment is being replaced with additional funding from transports and mutual aid. Michael Big, Chief Operating Officer, Paramedic. That's it.
Got a question for Mike. You might be able to answer. When we hear or Charlie, when we hear second or third calls, is that a second or third call because no one responded? Second or third ambulance to the scene? What is that?
I think that means that they have 2 calls or 3 calls going on at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
Clarify that. Anything else?
Yeah, that's coverage for each other. That's good.
All right, so we're gonna flip the agenda here for a minute, and I have to explain why. So, tonight, when we got the weather report from Orange County, and I was trying to make a determination on should we cancel the meeting, then reschedule it? Should we go to Zoom, which is something that we did quite proficiently and frequently during the COVID-19 pandemic? And what the village clerk was able to find out was that New York State, this has quietly expired the allowance to allow us to do things via any other way without a quorum, meaning you have to have at least 3 members of the village board there to conduct business in person with the opportunity for the public to be here too. So what I then did was said, okay, well then, if we're not gonna change the date, if we're gonna try to get it done tonight, if the snow's not supposed to start to 7, we'll just push the meeting up to 6, which we did. But because it's less than 72 hours of notice, the NICOM attorneys have advised us that we cannot take any resolutions until 7 p.m. So at 7:01, we shall grind through the resolutions, which means we gotta jump down to other business. Yep, because we didn't give 72 hours notice, and, you know, I made a decision this afternoon. Maybe I could have made it a couple days ago, but with the weather report fluctuating, I wanted to kind of wait to the last possible moment. But lesson learned, without 72 hours of notice, we cannot pass any resolutions without the public.
All right, so we have to rescind the one for the mechanic, right?
Yeah. I'll just repeat it. We could do it.
We'll have to redo it, Dave. Good point. Yep, we'll redo it. All right, so Bill, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Donahue Farm, we're gonna jump down to other business. Donahue Farm, committee update, community garden, barn roof replacement. And Bill, take as much time as you'd like.
What time is it?
It is 20 minutes till. I don't think you'll need all of that, because we'd like to get the other business done too, but take as much time as you need.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather tonight to discuss.
Lend me your ears.
Of the jury.
Time's up.
I'll split my time with Rana Liebert if she's willing, since,
She said
but there
no.
was no meeting this month, is that correct?
No meeting.
There was no meeting this month. I did, however, pay a visit to Donahue Farm this afternoon, and
Did
took
you
a couple
take that
of-
picture?
Yeah, aerial shots.
With the drone?
Very
Yep,
nice.
Very
the
cool.
roof looks amazing. It's a forest green metal corrugated roof, looks very tight. Our attorney was very carefully proofreading the roof, and he noticed what looked like a gap, but it was not a gap. In fact, the roofers have put some cedar shake on one gable end, and
Is that what that's called? Cedar shake?
yeah, the
Really?
the
With
shake-
Real
shakes,
shakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Cedar shake.
Yeah.
shakes, because of the way they make them is, well, the way they make them is they split them off of a cedar piece of
Right.
cedar, but I guess they call them shakes because of that method. It's like
And
you
maybe
use a
the
thing
shake-
called a
Maybe the
Shaker.
shakers.
What's that thing
Maybe the
called?
shakers.
Yeah, maybe. Well, since we have the time, there's a
Rena
tool.
probably
There's this like it's almost like a hammer that looks like an axe. It's got a long blade on it, and they tap it down onto it, and then hit it with another hammer, and it splits them off. I've seen videos of it.
Things you learn at 58.
There it is.
The things you learn at 58.
So it looks phenomenal. I didn't go over to the community garden, and Ronnie, you might have some more insight than I do, because I have almost zero. I did see in my aerial photography, I saw 3 chairs on a pile of wood chips over there near the. It looks like lawn furniture, but I wasn't around the corner to look at it. So when I looked back, I saw my pictures, and they're like, "Why are there 3 chairs sitting on that pile of wood chips?" So I don't know what's going on over there, but
We haven't met, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to visit this one, so
Yeah.
I don't have any insight.
So I gathered that local arborists have been specifically invited. This is not a general call for people to bring yard waste or anything else to Donahue Farm. There's a request, there's specific arborists have been specifically discussed with to bring wood chips over that can be used as mulch in the community garden. So that's still underway. Cara Melling is, no, Gilardo, no, Melling.
Melling Gilardo.
Is essentially managing the community garden work stream there, and along with Deke. We've seen, to my view, the ground hasn't changed really at all. I'm not certain where they are in terms of people signing up. I know that the mayor had mentioned that the Cornwall Youth Committee was interested in making sure that our local youths have an opportunity to have some space dedicated to their gardening needs there. Be a great integration of that space. Other than that, I think we have under resolutions, we have an item related to the public access agreement. And then we also have, we've got a couple.
The
things
Stoll
under
Trailhead piece, yeah.
resolutions that relate to Donahue Farm indirectly. But the property looks great, the view is still lovely, the roof looks amazing, seems to be watertight, it's gonna snow tonight, so I guess somebody
Find
can
out,
go in there
yeah.
and find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
Mr.
Outstanding.
Mr.
Sir.
Mayor. Sorry.
Sir. Who's
Just going back to the maintenance agreement, I was speaking with trustee Brain earlier. I started to look at it today. My understanding is there's no imminent time frame for this. Trustee Brain, the point is, if the board wants to table that resolution, because I'd like to discuss it with trustee Brain and perhaps with counsel for Scenic Hudson.
Yeah, I think Deputy Mayor Kane had read it as well and found some items to discuss.
Yeah, and that, what, you know what? I'm gonna remember that, yeah.
So if there's no urgency and it can be adopted at the next regular meeting, I'm just suggesting maybe the board just table that item.
Can we? If she nods and says yes, I'm good.
That's the rule we've been following.
Exactly. All right. Okay, next item, I'm sorry.
On
You wanna
the,
talk electric now?
yeah,
Okay, well, let's talk electric.
uh,
Give us your pitch.
they're looking to get, that community garden up and going. One of the things they have to do is get the well going in there. I have met with the electrician. I provided quotes this afternoon to you guys via email. like you guys just to bless that, to get that on. It's broken into 3 different pieces so that we could do it at different times. It's gonna incorporate, getting electric for like movies in there and, the wedding event. So,
Makes perfect sense. We need it.
Lights on the buildings.
Yeah.
lights on the building, electric, and so if you guys are good with that, since it's the Donahue fund money and not,
Right.
my general fund money.
And obviously, the residential property, that's one of the 4 structures there, is on a separate line, right, for electric?
Yeah, this is gonna have its own, meter pan and,
So what ultimately happened to the original electric that was connected to the ice house, the barn, and the kennels?
it was disconnected at the roof of the building. The aerial line is still there, they can tag into that for now. In the future, we can pull a 400 amp if we want.
Okay,
We can get lights and electric.
So they're just gonna reconnect the existing service.
No, we're gonna put all new stuff. I had Manny there today.
Just a panel and all that?
New,
But the overhead line is gonna stay overhead?
the overhead line's gonna stay there. We don't have to replace that.
Right, we're
They're
not-
just coming down.
I would say the taps
new-
should probably cut on the pole too.
No, it's still live on the
They're
pole.
not cut on the pole?
Still on the pole.
Dave, what does 400 amps do? What'll that juice?
Well, this is gonna be 200 amp now, but 400 amp is if you're gonna eventually create some type of venue or something in that building
Yeah.
where you need a lot of electric.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, your average home has a 200 amp service.
Average home, okay. Got it.
We're going 200 or 400?
200 for now.
Ultimately, 400. Jim's asking, are we doing 200 on this?
200, what is up there now, we can put the 200 amp service in without pulling new electric lines from the
I see.
pole or anything like that. Speaking with the electrician, what I wanna do is I wanna, at some point when we have some downtime, maybe in the summer, is bury conduit in the ground there from the street to the building for a 400 amp service, communications, anything else we wanna get to the building, just have it in the ground. But we'll have electric so you can actually see inside the barn, you could power up down there without running a generator, and the well will run without needing a generator.
It's temporary, permanent.
Joe, I did find my notes on that.
It's very easily upgradable.
Thanks, Phil, for reminding me.
Way to do it. It's the right way to do it.
So we crossed off a resolution, but we have to add another one to.
It all came on the way.
Actually,
I was gonna say, it's a-
we don't require a resolution for that, do we? Because it's not that much money. It's just,
It's under 5.
I don't know.
We could just
How
do
much,
it.
how much is it?
Dollars?
No, is it within the procurement? The
Yeah,
village
the
board's
numbers
money.
are under our procurement policy.
Is this the one with the LED wrap fixtures?
Yeah, there's 3 different prices, one for the outdoor stuff, one for the indoor, and the panel.
Yeah.
All said together, it all comes to about $10,000 if you did it all at one time.
Got it.
But we're not gonna do it all at one time.
So do we need a resolution?
Well, it doesn't need to be, yeah, it doesn't need to be bid, but I'm
No,
not sure, how much are we spending now?
4. Right, Stevie?
5,000?
probably 6 right now, between the two of them.
Yeah, it's actually,
Yeah,
it's like.
it- it doesn't-
We're not splitting the contract to get
I know. Because it's under it anyway. It doesn't
Yeah.
require any bidding. If the board accepts this quote, that's fine. If it would like to get some additional quotes, that's within the board's discretion.
Same,
It's not that easy to get 3 electricians to come in and give you bids on 3 different projects on 30.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a chance to look, so I didn't realize it was one provider.
And usually when you're dealing with the electricians, they all know they have to pay prevailing wage anyway, so the prices are.
Yeah, it doesn't, just Dave needs some kind of approval. I don't care whether you call it a motion or a resolution. You can call it whatever you want.
We could already have, well, we can't, it's not 7
can't do it
o'clock
till
yet,
7.
but yes.
Okay.
Do anything for another 2. But don't worry, because I'm gonna read through the entire bandstand schedule, band by band. Oh, all right, all right, all right. She's not gonna let me read it.
Might already
I
be
wanted to say Electric Django a couple of times, but, all right, moving on. The next item of other business is the 2023 Village Bandstand schedule. We are still privileged to have Eddie Hurley, who puts more work into this than truly somebody who's being paid would be, and set up a nice schedule of events. We did push back. I thought I was, brilliant in extending the bandstand, starting it earlier in mid-May. And last year, the 2 last weeks of May proved to me that there's a reason we don't start till the last day of May or the first part of June. So we're going to go back to starting on Tuesday, May 30th. The events, the bandstand will be from 6:30 to 8. It'll stay that way until we get into September, and beginning Tuesday, September 5th, we'll move it up, obviously because it gets darker earlier, to 6 to 7:30. Our last concert will be Tuesday, September 26th. And there's a lot of bands on here that are popular and that have played here many times before. And there's actually some new bands this year that haven't played before. So looking forward to this. Myself or one of the trustees will introduce each band every Tuesday night. There are rain dates for these concerts. And keep in mind that the town runs their concert series somewhat the same. It's a little more truncated, but they run theirs on Sundays uptown. Gene, am I missing anything? Anything else I need to share in regards to the official 2023 schedule? So I will laminate this and put this in the work session room. It'll be available for here, and we'll make sure we get it up on our village website. But only thing you need to know is Tuesday, May 30th will be the first scheduled concert this year for our bandstand series. All right, next item of business, approval of 2023 fundraising events for Storm King Engine Company number 2. Where's that sheet? Oh, that's right there. I am in receipt of a letter to the village board, writing to inform us that Storm King Fire Engine Company number 2 is planning to participate in or run 3 different fundraising events this year. First being Easter Breakfast, second being Riverfest, and the third being the annual Fireman's Fair. These are important fundraisers, obviously, for the company. It is a volunteer company, and the hope is that the community will come out, as they usually do, but will continue to do to support these events. Anything else you need to mention on that, Chief, Assistant Chief? Anything to add to that or to make note of?
No, the president learned in our training that the company's supposed to inform the village board of fundraising events. You're so informed.
I see the counselor just lit up over there, like he got all excited, he got giggling.
Now, is it necessary that the company inform the village board, or do they inform the Board of Fire Commissioners, who then inform the village board?
There's a
Why
question
don't we just-
for counselor.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. The village board, informing the village board is an excellent choice. That's my.
All right. Okay, next item of business under other business, body worn camera funding approval. Chief, anything you want to add to that? Obviously, you worked hard to make our dream come true, which is to ensure that every police officer, whether they're full-time or part-time, has their own body worn camera. Anything to add to?
I got the notification from New York State DCGS. Hopefully hear something soon as far as when the funds are going to be spent. And as soon as that happens, I'll work with the Windsor IT to get the additional body cameras going.
Excellent. All right. And we're using the same IT group and, got it. Okay. Perfect. All right, that's that. Should I really slowly read the for your information?
Do the FYIs, yeah, do some of them.
That's what I'm saying. I really slowly read these. All right.
Well, of course, we can do the board comments too. Get
We
them
can do
done.
board comments too. All right. All right, this is making sense. What do we got, 6 minutes left? We got 7 minutes left. All right. Okay, FYI. I am pleased to announce that the Ethics Board will be convening on Monday, March 6th at 7 PM. Gene, they're meeting in here. They're meeting in here, correct? Got it. Now, do they have nameplates?
No.
Should we get them nameplates?
No.
Really, Counselor?
You didn't even hesitate.
Counselor, think about
No,
it.
I didn't
Joe.
mean no. I just meant maybe they could wait a little while.
Oh, so they need to have tenure of 13 years on the ethics committee before they get a nameplate.
Double-digit years. Right?
Yeah, all right. I understand. Okay, so the ethics board meeting will be here Monday, March 6th at 7 PM.
And Mr. Mayor,
sir.
with respect to that first, I believe it's the first time the ethics board's met in a while.
In a long time.
In my tenure, yes. And I don't
And
know when.
they're gonna
before
have
they-
that first meeting themselves? Do they need counsel with them at that first
They've already
meeting?
had one meeting.
Okay,
They're looking at the disclosure forms from
Okay.
the previous years, so
All
I
right.
think at this point, they're just kind of familiarizing
Fine.
themselves with what they need to know.
Now, are you in, have you spoken to John Ross, who's the new chairperson? No?
no,
Okay.
no.
I can certainly have Mr. Ross reach out to you.
Okay.
Just touch base with you,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely.
right.
Yeah, that's why I
All
asked.
right. John Ross. Okay, cool. Okay, got it. All right, that's the first item. Second item, and for your information, is registration day. And as I remarked or lamented last week or last month, it is Saturday, March 11th, from 12 PM to 5 PM. Last year when we did this, we had 0 new registered voters done on that day. And I believe 2 years ago, we had 2 during that 5-hour period. So I'm hoping maybe if I bang the gong a little bit, maybe with a mayor's message or just kind of promote it. And it's one of two things, either people are disinterested or everybody's registered. I mean, so, but anyhow, March 11th, 12 to 5 PM, Saturday, registration day. Next village board work session. Council, let's go ahead and make this note right now, and Madam Village Clerk, 6 PM will be attorney-client to make up for the canceled attorney-client tonight. And then the regular work session will begin at 7 PM on March 14th in the work session room. And I'm going to remind the trustees that I'm asking them to give me their thoughts and their opinions on live streaming our work session meetings. That either requires us to move into the boardroom or it requires us to retrofit the work session room with cameras. So just give that some thought. I like the, uh-oh. All right,
You may
those
wanna-
hands went up in unison.
You may want to check the date. I think Monday, it's March 13th.
13.
It is.
Is that what you were going to say, Charles?
I have 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 14th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. So it's a typo. All right. How did you guys see that at the same time?
My son's birthday. It's around St. Patrick's Day.
Ah, all right. So I'm going to make a correction. The village board work session is actually Monday, March 13th at 7 PM with a 6 PM attorney-client session with the trustees and our council. All right, election day, Tuesday, March 21st. Again, the first village election with expanded voting hours. So 6 AM till 9 PM. 6 AM till 9 PM. And then the next village board business meeting is Monday, March 27th at 7 PM. All right. So we still have a few minutes before we can actually go into, we have 3 minutes before we can go into resolutions. I think I'm going to go ahead and hold off the board comments till after resolution since we've only got a couple of minutes. And I can do a long wind-up on the first one. Is there anything else that we should get out of the way before then? Should we do this, or do we have to wait for that till after this?
I would do, if we're gonna wait for that.
Just wait for both of them? Okay. All right. We have to wait till 7 PM to do our first resolution, and that is going to be the election resolution. Yes, ma'am.
Since we have some time,
Sure.
I just wanna let you know that the Donahue Farm Committee's in a bit of a limbo stage right now, so we're just waiting for some direction from the board about our organizational structure. And that's a delay in the next meeting. So
Yeah.
just want you to know that we made some recommendations in the planning document, but, you know, if and when you approve the new organizational structure.
Our commitment is to discuss this, debate this, and dig into this at the March work session. So yes, we're not gonna keep you guys languishing or, so I want to give them enough time to read all 18 pages, plus the appendices, and then come up and make some determinations at the work session, which, if we're in concurrence and agreement, we'll approve at that next business meeting.
And the village clerk did print these for us. Everybody has a copy.
Everyone has a color
Been
copy.
reading through them and.
Yes. All right, I think it's now safe for us, since it is,
I heard the bells.
wait a minute. I have 6:59. At 7 o'clock, we can take our first resolution.
Read one of the long resolutions.
One of the longer ones? That's true, too. All right, wait 1 second. And then we'll do public comment and go right into board comments, and we're done. All right,
You can do the public hearing, that's a long.
it is, but it's almost 7 o'clock anyway. Yeah, we're almost there. And then I'll just take them in order.
Reduced the predicted amount of snow, so
They've reduced it again?
last one I just saw said 3 to 5.
Yeah, that's what we saw later this afternoon.
7
All
o'clock.
all right, 7 o'clock. We're moving into the resolutions. Election notice. I'm gonna read the following notice. The next annual election of the Village of Cornwall and Hudson will be held in the Edward C. Moulton Jr. Boardroom of the Village Hall, 325 Hudson Street, Cornwall and Hudson, New York, on the 21st day of March 2023, which is a Tuesday, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. by voting machine. The candidates, offices, and terms for which are as follows. Brendan G. Coyne, residing at 13 Paula Court, is running for mayor, and that position is for 2 years. James A. Galliano, residing at 11 Wood Avenue, running for mayor. That term is also 2 years. William Brain, residing at 41 Clark Avenue, for the trustee position, also a 2-year term. And finally, David P. Carnwright, 51 Duncan Avenue, running for trustee, also a 2-year term. So the mayoral contest will be contested. The trustees will be running unopposed. Okay, I'm going to make a motion authorizing the village clerk to publish the aforementioned notice, and I'd like a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right. Moving on. 2023-2024 insurance. This is why the town is holding a meeting tonight to do the same thing. We have to get this insurance approved, so we're covered. So I'm going to hereby report that the Reese Group, R-E-I-S, provided an insurance proposal in the amount of $136,308.79, an increase of almost 9% from last year's premium of $125,347.41. In addition, the Reese Group provided an insurance proposal for VFIS insurance for the Village of Cornwall and Hudson Fire Department in the amount of $23,898, an increase of almost 20% from last year's premium of $19,880. According to our Reese Group representative, premiums went up, quote, across the board, close quote, this year. Our coverage from last year is comparable, and as the village clerk reminded me yesterday or today, we did budget for this increase. So I'm going to seek for the board to approve accepting the Reese Group insurance proposals in the amount of $136,308.79 and the VFIS proposal in the amount of $23,898. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Just one question, Gene, you probably know this, because I looked at I asked this last time at the meeting, and that was, with respect to the fireboat, I know the VFIS is up to 100 horsepower, and I know we're over that, but is it, the other policy covers it?
This policy covers the boat.
Okay, the Reese policy, the VFIS does.
yes,
Just want to make sure this one does, okay, great, thank you.
All right, do I have a second? I did have a second. Trustee Carnwright, any other further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, next item for resolution passage is to set the public hearing for municipal separate storm sewer systems, or the MS4 audit. I'm going to introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas the village board wishes to set a time and place for a public hearing to consider the adoption of the municipal separate storm sewer systems, or the MS4 audit. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the village board hereby determines that it will be the lead agency with respect to the review of the project in accord with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SEQR, in Part 617 of the regulations implementing SEQR, since there are no other agencies that have the authority to approve the project, and is further resolved that the village board hereby classifies the action as an unlisted action under SEQR, and is further resolved that a public hearing be held by the village board in order to receive comments and suggestions regarding the audit of the municipal separate storm, sewer systems, MS4, and to receive any comments concerning the potential adverse environmental impacts of the proposed project in accord with SEQR on March 27th, 2023 at 7:01 p.m. at the Village Hall located at 325 Hudson Street, Cornwall and Hudson, New York, and it is further resolved that the village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause public notice of said hearing to be given as provided by law. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'm sorry, just to, we're considering the adoption of the storm system audit. So, meaning that we're in receipt of the audit, or we will receive an audit that.
We
explains?
anticipate receipt shortly.
And then that will be a public hearing to determine, to precede our adoption of same. Got it, thank you.
All right. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next resolution, amended tax levy resolution and tax warrant. The tax levy and tax warrant was adopted by this village board at the January 23rd business meeting. The village treasurer has been informed that assessment reductions were awarded by Small Claims Assessment Review, or SCAR. In addition, several exemptions were removed from the assessment roll. These changes require the board to amend the tax levy and the tax warrant. So I'm going to introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Resolved that there be levied and assessed against the real property of the village of Cornwall and Hudson the following sums for village government and other charges for the fiscal year 2023-2024, with the tax rate of $7.69 per $1,000 of assessed valuation. All right, from the general fund, total taxes for the current budget were $2,799,276.89. For omitted taxes, this is the clarification and the change, $723.19. The rest of those numbers I will have added as per document, and the total re-levy is $174,140.63, with total real property taxes and other charges on roll of $2,974,140.71. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now some fun stuff. The 2023 Movies and Music on the Hudson. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following dates for the 2023 Movies and Music on the Hudson. May 12th, 2023, and June 2nd, 2023. May 12th, as I recall it from my notes, is the pre-car show movie night at the Riverfront, and the movie is Fast and Furious, and Michael, the band is still to be determined, correct? Friday, June 2nd, Top Gun Maverick. That's the latest one that broke all the billion-dollar barrier in sales at the Riverfront with the Joyas playing music. So, may I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or argument? All in favor? Aye. All right. Oh, do I need to do those two? They sure were, Bill. I left them out. Yeah. Are they on there? Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Bill and Gene. All right, the 2023 Donahue Farm events. I'm going to continue by making a motion to approve an Oktoberfest at Donahue Farm on September 30th, 2023, and movie and music night at Donahue Farm on October 27th, 2023. So on Saturday, September 30th, the Oktoberfest at Donahue Farm has Chickenhead Rocks as the band, and a Donahue Farm fundraiser, which is important. The more people we can turn out that can help us in the donation realm. And what does old school mean?
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Ah, got it. Okay. Friday, October 27th, it's a Halloween movie at Donahue Farm. Do we know what the movie is?
Is it Poltergeist? I don't know.
That's listed here.
Possibly.
Oh, I guess he's keeping it close to
Dominic is the.
He is the movie guru.
He is.
All right, with a costume contest, Poltergeist, and a band to be determined. So, may I have a second for those two dates? Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, the Orange County Planning Department referral requirements. I'm in receipt of a proposed intermunicipal agreement between the village and Orange County regarding municipal referrals of certain planning and zoning actions to the Orange County Department of Planning for review. This agreement proposes to reduce the number of referrals to allow the county to, quote, address more timely and effectively, close quote, projects that, quote, more likely implicate intercommunity and countywide considerations, close quote, and, quote, allow local municipal review boards to streamline their review and approval, close quote, of projects that are more likely to have only local impacts and considerations. So, I'd like to propose a resolution to accept the intermunicipal agreement between the Village of Cornwall and Hudson and the County of Orange, reducing the number of planning and zoning referrals, and further, to authorize this mayor, the planning board chairwoman, and the zoning board of appeals chairman to sign the agreement on behalf of the village. May I have a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
What is it?
Dean, you want to help me with this one?
I was gonna say more.
Help.
The same question.
Could probably
Help.
Yeah,
Joe?
it's actually, I think this is probably an excellent idea, probably should have been done years ago. For very small actions before the planning board and the ZBA, we're required to refer it to Orange County Planning Department for their review and comment. There are so many minor types of applications that really don't have any kind of intercommunity or intergovernmental impact that the county, I don't see how they get through half of the referrals we send them. I'm sure they're overwhelmed and overworked on this. So this will just really streamline it and give them time to focus on the larger projects with more potential impacts. So this is
Is that required previously required by statute?
it is the statute allows the county and the local governments to agree to a system which is outside the specific statutory language. So the statute's very broad. That's why everything got referred.
I see.
But the statute authorizes the county and the governments to reduce it, streamline it, filter it, maybe.
Good.
So the thresholds that I see in here seem pretty, like you say, these are small projects that have only local impact.
Right. Sideline variances, use variances.
Rear yard fence height variances,
Yeah.
Got it.
and things like that.
All right,
Even
so,
small subdivisions,
Of
Right,
4 to
even
5
small
lots
subdivisions.
and not in.
all of ours, most of
Right.
them. Yeah, sounds good.
all right, any other discussion? All right, and I am keeping an eye on the weather outside. I think it's starting to snow, but I'm gonna look
You
to,
got a Jeep,
I'm fine.
take everybody home.
Exactly.
You got fire
Cool
trucks
boat.
Now
here.
it's showing up. All right, so,
Do I
yeah,
have a second?
do I have a second?
Second.
You do.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next item, the 2023 leak detection program. The village received a $7,540 grant from the Orange County Water Authority for leak detection throughout our water system. Leak detection must be completed by October 31st of 2023. I'm in receipt of a proposal from the Northeast Water Technology Company in the amount of $17,000 to perform a full system leak detection survey of the 52 miles of water main excuse me, in our water system. The grant money will be used, leaving the village responsible for payment of the remaining $9,460. Northeast Water Technology has provided this service for the past 10 years and has an, quote, intimate knowledge, close quote, of the water system, allowing them to work independently. Our daily water production has been significantly reduced as a result of the leak detection services provided. This work will take approximately 3 weeks to complete. So upon the recommendation of Water Superintendent Michael Trainer, I'm making the motion to accept the February 3rd, 2023 proposal from Northeast Water Technology for the 2023 Full System Water Leak Detection Program in the amount of $17,000 and to authorize this mayor to execute the addendum to the proposal as prepared by the attorney for the village. May I have a second?
Second.
Michael, anything to add to that?
I'll just say that we've used Northeast Water Technologies over the last few years. And typically what we've done in the past is he would do 1/3 of the water system each year. But with this grant, we're able to do it all at once and get a good baseline all at once for our water system.
Michael, what's the timeframe that we have been doing? We've been doing 1/3 and until we got finished.
Correct,
So
correct.
what, after this is done, we'll go to what?
You know what, I'm hoping that our water production level is so low and with the technology that we have, we can observe,
Self-monitor? Yeah.
self-monitor with our SCADA system and whatnot, and if we see any increase in water production, then we've purchased equipment ourselves that would allow us to go out and do detection on our own.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next one's an exciting one. The request for proposals for our certified planner for the village. The town has a planner, we do not. So we are going to put out an RFP to get one. So I'm gonna make a motion to accept the January 22nd, 2023 request for proposals as prepared by trustee Bill Brain for a part-time temporary planner to assist the village in updated elements of its zoning code to reflect the requirements of its recently adopted comprehensive plan and provide guidance and documentation on additional matters related to village assets, improvements, and other processes, and further, to authorize the village clerk to advertise the request for proposals with a return date of March 24th, 2023. And before I get a second, I do want to thank Bill for his work on this. It was an excellent product. And when Jeff Smalls, who's no stranger to planning, said the exact same, that this was a phenomenal document and it was well done, I just want to thank Bill for that. So really, really well done. We're excited about it. The board has budgeted for a planner on a part-time basis at an hourly rate. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I note that I did put a deadline in here of March 31st, but we want the 20, that was pure guesswork on my part.
I had
24th.
changed it to the 24th because you meet on the 27th.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Aye. The Stoll Trailhead Management Agreement.
No.
Oh, we're tabling that. I stand corrected. Pretend I didn't say that. The Orange County Rowing Association, the 2023 agreement. Gene, how many years have they, is this their fourth? Yeah, they've been here. Is it longer than that?
Since Hayden Skegan was, he's probably 10 years old.
Yeah, okay.
Long time, I think.
Long time.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to approve the schedule of dates proposed by the Orange County Rowing Association for their use of the riverfront landing for the 2023 rowing season as per the schedule provided on February 10th of 2023, subject to the Orange County Rowing Association providing a required certificate of insurance to the village clerk. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next is an authorization for the mayor to sign an intermunicipal agreement, or an IMA, with the Orange County Department of Emergency Services for Stop DWI program. I'd like to propose a motion to authorize me, the mayor, to sign an intermunicipal agreement with Orange County Department of Emergency Services for Stop DWI program, and I am seeking a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I have I have a general question, not to put you on the spot, Chief, but having been in law enforcement for a long time and having these programs have run for a long time, it's my impression, just as a citizen and somebody who reads newspapers, that, and maybe I'm completely in the dark on this, but have DUIs decreased over the decades, or is it still as bad of a problem as it was?
It's my belief that they've decreased.
It's phenomenal.
I think between education and, putting the word out there and the exorbitant costs if you do end up getting arrested for DWI, I think is a deterrent.
Okay. All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Storm King Arts Center to set the connection fees. I'm going to propose this resolution and move for its adoption. In accordance with Village Code Section 165-7, subset A, to set the new water connection charge for the Storm King Arts Center at $8,000, plus the cost of the equipment and materials required by Village Code Section 176-7B. I'd like to make a motion is this all in one, Gene? Can I do this all in one?
Yeah.
To return the balance of a bond previously deposited with the village by Vales Gate Business Center LLC.
No, those are two,
Those are two separate, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so for the first one, the motion is
Saying.
for the water connection charge for the Storm King Arts Center at $8,000 plus the cost of the equipment and materials required by Village Code. May I have a second?
Second.
Mike, anything to add to that?
No, sir.
Any further discussion?
Just to repeat trustee Carnwright's earlier question, what is it? Sorry.
Michael, you want to explain what we're doing out at the Storm King Arts Center?
So the Storm King Arts Center is undertaking a redevelopment plan out there project. They're building a few buildings and whatnot. And right now they're on groundwater wells. They have their own water system. And they've asked to connect to our municipally owned water system. The connection charge is $8,000. The cost of materials and the tapping fee is gonna be in the neighborhood of $32,000, so, total of about $40,000.
So we're setting that fee, right? We're setting
Correct.
that number. Okay.
Correct. Anything above 2 inches set on a case-by-case basis by the board. Anything below 2 inches part of the annual fee schedule.
And that'll be contractor tax, right?
Correct.
It's not.
Right, we had discussed those costs previously, I just wasn't sure what we were voting on this minute. Got
That's it.
Understood.
Great. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and last but not least, I'm going to make a motion to return the balance of a bond previously deposited with the village by Vales Gate Business Center LLC as the work for the project has been completed to the satisfaction of Michael Trainer, the water superintendent for the village of Cornwall and Hudson. Michael, anything to add to this?
Just to note, because Bill's kind of looking at me with a perplexed look, the Vales Gate Business Center is over there off of 94, the old Tarquette manufacturing plant. They recently built a new warehousing over there. As part of that, we require them to install a new above-ground water meter and backflow prevention. And we simply required a bond be posted until they completed that work to our satisfaction.
Do I have that written here? Okay, so this is for
The electric is on.
at Donny Farm. All right, yes, okay, that was, yes. I need a second?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Now, last but not least, because I'd forgotten that we needed to approve the resolution for the work for the electric down at Donahue Farm property because we did so before 7 PM. So, all right, so I'm gonna make the same motion. Do I have the verbiage here? Okay, so I'm gonna have to wing this. I'm gonna make the motion that RPC Electric be authorized to conduct the work in a total amount of $4,000.
So.
Right.
Three different projects there.
Got it. And so I'll do each one of them. So one in the amount of $4,000, one in the amount of $3,000, and the last in the amount of $3,600. If my math stands up, that is $10,600. That sound right? No, $10,600. So as the board had previously approved this, may I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That is
What's the
everything.
timetable for that work, Dave? Do you know?
Okay?
The one we
I
had
know he's
passed
busy.
Prior to 7 o'clock was the resolution for the, posting the head mechanic position.
Oh,
That
right.
is right. That's the one we need to do the redo on.
Redo.
Good. All right, so we're good on RPC Electric, the $10,600. Now we need to redo on the advice of the DPW superintendent, I am going to propose that the board allow him to post for the position of, is it head mechanic or mechanic? Post for the position of, for the mechanic's position for the DPW to fill the vacancy. And we'll run an ad in the paper. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we've already done FYI. This moves us on to board comments. So trustee Brain, you're up first.
Just to, on the electric at Donahue Farm, I'm not sure that I would have to check to see if the, conservation easement specifically lays down the law on what kinds of lights can be on the buildings. I'm not positive about that. But this, what we've just approved is expenditure to put in electric connection, but also some lighting, so we'd wanna make sure that that lighting preserve the
Probably if the
natural
motion bill
setting
will be
and
fine.
all of that.
It
Yeah,
does say
yeah.
motion in there.
But just, and also just
Yeah.
as little spillover as possible, especially, there's residents there and there's, and it is
Flora and fauna.
historically a very dark.
Did you deem him
So-
security
You
also?
wrote that in your
I think
comments.
I think they would be
I'll
for
bring it up.
security.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of
then they'll
what
have to
the-
meet the code, yeah.
Yeah.
Manny will too.
Other than
He'll
that,
get 'em. Manny will take care of it.
I don't know that I have any of the typical social comments that we often bring to bear in these moments, but appreciate everybody's hard work. Winter is maybe almost over, and we were.
Or Game of Thrones, winter is coming.
Right. So no big thanks for plowing and stuff like that until tomorrow, but thanks everybody for all the hard work, and I got nothing else that I know
Just to
of.
trail off of what Bill
Yes.
just said in regards to Donahue Farm. In Joe's memo, it's part of what Gina had copied for us, so the whole report. Joe recommends, because of the term improvement, which you were getting at with the lighting inside, we have to make sure that we speak to Scenic Hudson to make sure that the
in
improvements that we're
compliance.
making are in compliance with the conservation easement because they interpret it in a very conservative manner. Correct.
That wasn't my comment, but that's an excellent one.
I thought it was yours. I read it. but-
No, I couldn't let that one go. No, that's not my
Sure,
comment.
I
But
thought you wrote the memo.
All right,
We've authorized the
maybe-
work, but we haven't-
maybe Jonathan wrote it and he put my name on it?
Yes.
all right, I'm trying to get everybody out of here early tonight, or earlier. Dave,
Good, I'm good.
Dave, Jim Kane.
I have nothing, well, one thing, thank you for snow plowing tomorrow and taking care of the village, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, me, only thing I'm gonna point out is, the deputy mayor and I, attended the Association of Towns meeting, which was last weekend down in New York City. An unbelievable opportunity for classes and things related to what we do, in managing and leading a village. And I'm going to encourage the trustees, I'm going to continue to send them the monthly date reminders for the Orange County Association of Towns, Villages, and Cities, because I think you guys should be there. It is a good networking event, and there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from that too. And NICOM is coming up, and I know we send some of our department heads to NICOM-sponsored events every year. NICOM is the New York Conference of Mayors. I think the one for elected officials is in April or May, Gene? May, right? I think, yeah, but I'll remind everybody when it's coming up. All right, without that said, public comment.
I have an alibi.
Oh, you got an alibi.
Just since Dr. Liebert is here,
Ah,
she and the chair of the Donahue Farm and Riverfront Committee, Mr. Work, had emailed, this was something we had talked about a little bit, was trying to get a little more strategic around grants overall and having a kind of always-on function where we're somebody who's attuned to the grants that are available and is continually seeking some and can then, sort of strike while the iron is hot. We talked about a couple of different iterations of that in terms of working with our engineering firm, that they have somebody who's written some grants in the past, but that is not dedicated to that function. So I did promise Rana and Dave that I would bring it to the board's attention and that we could try to be, a little strategic this coming during this year without having budgeted specifically for a grant hunter or a grants administrator, but maybe it's something that could be folded into the planning person's role to some extent, et cetera.
I love it, and that's a great point, because again, if you're not in tune and you're not following along, you miss these things. I don't think you can do everything, because I think the margin of success in the New York Forward grant was that there was a huge focus on that. But then again, you can't put all your eggs in one basket either, and you can't ignore some stuff that comes along. So to Bill's point, good idea, and yeah, I would like to see that kind of folded into the planner's position as somebody that kind of keeps track of that stuff. All right, without further ado, last thing on the agenda is public comment. Mr. Coyne.
Good evening, folks. Sorry I was late, but a good idea to move the meeting up. Two comments. Congrats on the grant, and it's great news for the town and the village. And I'd just like to think that perhaps having a current comprehensive plan may have helped with the proposal. When Rana, she left. When Rana submitted proposals for the Donahue Memorial Park, the village comm plan was nearly 60 years old. Secondly, considering the fallout from the derailment in Ohio, I'd like to suggest that the village maybe consider meeting with CSX about safety precautions. During my administration, we had a number of meetings regarding the safety of oil trains, and I think that might bode well for the village. Thank you.
Thank you. Any alibis from the board?
Yes.
Sir?
Just to that last point, there was, I'm not sure if anybody else saw this video, but my wife works in Haverstraw, and the other day, an 18-wheeler bottomed out on the tracks, and the driver got out to safety, but the truck was then demolished by a train that came straight through on the same tracks that run through here. So it's, no injuries, fortunately. Graphic video, impressive to see the damage that can result. So yeah, just something to.
We are engaging with CSX on a number of levels, and that's a good point. Okay, no other alibis from department heads? All right, folks, thanks for everything. Thanks for coming, and please get home safely. Without further ado, I'm going to make a motion to close the meeting. May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Oh, sir. Oh, you need the boss.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's what Kelly said when we lost Fred.
I know. Not gonna do it.
Seeing the wagon
My
tail.
blower's put away, but I might be probably.
I ran
Everybody
mine.
else would go to bed.
I ran mine.
Stay downstairs until
I know,
Make
I
sure
do.
the gas was right, and I haven't run it all winter.
Me
I don't know
neither.
if it'll still
Me
go.
neither.
I don't have your work order thing, Jim had that.
Yeah, look, I got, my schedule's flexible, but I got to drag these guys in if we're gonna do one on a night.